feed off you, and then you feed off me.
Oh my days! All right, cool.
Yeah. It's got to be like what's that word? Kind of like biochemical, like sort of thing.
Or like corn that you
Yeah.
so just all right, cool.
Organic.
Okay,
That's it. Organic, like this.
All right.
I'm reaching for what I believe in, and I must never stop rising, rising, rising. Never stop rising.
Yes, people, yo, welcome back. As you know, my bro, man, on the previous video, if you checked it out, if you haven't, definitely check it out after this. Trust me, my bro was touching on some things about, platform owners and content makers, and man, he talked about scratching the surface, just going a little deeper about the Kingdom community. That's right, the Kingdom community. The boys and girls, the cats and dogs, the children and babies, the slugs and worms. I don't know, man. Exactly. So we're going to go a little deeper today about the Kingdom community, the community in the Kingdom. I'm going to ask a very touchy question because I know some people already, they just jumped down and thought about this kind of thing.
I love these touchy questions.
Is there even a community? And a lot of people say there is, but is there really? And I'm not talking about the ones where you stick to your church and don't really want to interact with anyone else outside. Is there?
I love these questions.
Yeah, but so yeah, is there a community?
Yes and no.
Wow.
Yes and no. So, if I wanted to be controversial, I'd say no. There's no community. It's a mess. Come on, and we can point to X, Y, and Z to prove. But the truth is that there is a community. And I'm going to use some terms now, but just stay with me. We're talking about micro and macro communities.
Wow.
So micro, just the tiny communities, and I would say like you go to your church, you've got like a cell group, you've got like things happening in maybe a particular ministry, and those people do a few things. So they share common values, they spend time, physical time with each other, not just FaceTime, not just WhatsApp. Like they're actually coming together, they eat together, they do things together socially, they help each other. Spiritually, emotionally, someone's going through something, someone wants to like get a job. Oh yeah, let me help you out. I've got a few, like that's a community. Like we're working together, we're helping each other to do the journey of life together. Community. We're sharing our resources where we can. Oh, come to my place, man. We can hang out. Or you know what? I need a lift down somewhere else. Yeah. We can give you a lift. We can drop you off. That kind of stuff. So it's not the one thing. It's all of those things happening together amongst several people that makes you a community. Okay, not just one thing. Because some people will take just, we meet up on Thursdays. We're a community. No, you're not. You have a club.
So that's clear. It's not a community. It's a club.
It's got to be holistic. But I'm talking about that happens a lot in churches all over the place. Like I changed changed the Sunday worship place I go to last year. So I was able to go to different churches, and I went to see like, do you have a community here? And we checked out a few. So I can say with some authority, obviously I didn't check out every church in London, but like they exist. And that's encouraging, okay? So that's a good thing. Macro is obviously looking at that on a bigger scale, because that's when community A and community B and community C and community D know about each other, and there's some interactions with each other at a community level. So that's not like, us lot here, we kind of hang out, we do life, but we're also going to like hang out and do life with another community. No, every community has some kind of value that they bring to the world. So let's say between you and me, for instance, let's say we got our own community. We're quite creative people. We have some things to share, and we're actually doing that right now as it goes. So we are contributing, our shared experiences, wisdom, knowledge, mistakes, so you can learn from them. That's what we offer. But another community or group might be good at, for instance, just prayer. They just love to pray, but they love to worship. So it's when we connect with the group that prays, and we're like, because we know someone in that community, that community can then be praying for us and making sure that this is the most popping channel on YouTube. See my point? So that's how a community works with each other. And then when you take it even bigger than that, it's then when like whole communities that identify themselves as being one and connected can then make bigger moves. Think of it like, if y'all remember Power Rangers, like we would come together like a Zord,
That's
like
right.
one arm of this big robot thing, and then another person's like the leg, and then we all come together and we're like this big massive robot. If you've seen like what's that one?
Which Power Rangers though? There's the
Power
Morphin,
Rangers,
there's the
Mighty-
Zeo,
yeah,
there's
but
the Turbo.
they all had the they all had the Zords though, right? Like the big kind of robots. If you need to put a link to like the Megazord in the
Oh
in the
my
description.
days! We'll do
just in case you've been living under a rock
somehow you
and
missed
you
it.
missed it,
Yeah.
because I don't want to leave anyone behind.
For
But
real,
check
for
it out,
real.
and you'll see what I mean. But ultimately, I'm talking about the body of Christ.
Okay.
So that's what we eventually become
Okay.
when we've got all of the little bits sorted out.
Right.
So I think the issue is that we don't see it on the bigger scale because the smaller bits aren't talking to each other, so we can't even come together to form an arm. Where we've got like nails over here, like eyeballs over there,
For real.
and everyone's just like,
Can you
yeah,
imagine
you
it?
know, we're just jamming,
They're doing all the poses, but it's all they're coming together. Just
but nothing's coming together. Do you know that I will use Power Rangers as a really good analogy because it does help. You know, like in Power Rangers, they were just like regular people. They had like suits on and then they become strong and beat up the bad guys. But then the bad guy would eventually grow really big. Like,
every time.
to the size of like over a size of a skyscraper. But the point was, and this is a really important point for us to realize as Christians and as a community, is that when we're trying to fight a Goliath, a giant, you need to come together.
For real.
Like, we all think that we're all David. Like, every single one of us. But David, even himself, was a part of a family at the end of the day. And furthermore, it was God working through him. Okay? I'm just using that as an analogy. So, like, so for us, we need to come together to be a body to fight at the right level. Because, to be honest, there's been so many casualties of small groups trying to take on big giants by themselves. And I don't mean this to bring anyone down, but there's a bit of pride in that because it's not hard to ask for help. It just takes humility at the end of the day to say, we're trying to do this and we'd love for you to help us because we appreciate the value of coming together.
And I must add as well, because I'm not even trying to be deep. Look, man, we're all growing. No one is perfect in their craft. Everyone has a point of improvement. But don't get too sore. If someone you know has a right to tell you that your stuff is not there yet, it's not there yet. That's part of asking for help. If you go to someone, right? Let's say, I don't know, I go to BBC, for example. They have a quality control system. They will not, even certain radio stations, they will not play your music if it doesn't meet certain criteria. So part of going to people is knowing that they may not appreciate your stuff. Of course, there's the part where you have to listen to what they're saying. But if they're saying, oh, sorry, we can't accept this because it's not well mixed, or the sound quality isn't great, and they give you constructive criticism, don't be quick to close yourself off to it. That could help you get to the next level. There's been many times people have given me constructive criticism. In fact, they gave me a few pointers that I'm using these days. So anyways, it's good to actually listen to people who know what they're talking about, because if you really put that on, it can help. It can help. But yeah, didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought
I think that's a really good shout. And like, I will go even a step further. Because, all right, there are people that are like in the industry and they know. There are even some of your friends that may give you some indicators. All right, they're not in the industry, but try and understand where they're coming from. If they're truly friends, key point, there's a high chance that they're simply trying to give you a different perspective. And it might hurt. Hey. Some of you will definitely hurt sometimes, but it you know, all that is it's basically the way you're looking at the world and the way you're interpreting what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not actually them. It's actually the way you want to hear that. You want to hear that as, oh, you're not good enough, or you've messed up, you've made a mistake. And to be honest, some of us don't appreciate the fact that we can make mistakes. We think we're invincible. And like, the more you realize, no, I will likely make mistakes and I need to hear what I might be doing wrong, or areas that I haven't considered, you're more likely to take that feedback in the right way. You know, and it won't sting as much. And to be honest, people that are always getting that kind of feedback, it doesn't really sting for them after a while. So I'd say, you know, do it now. Start with the people around you, because when you go to like the BBC, they don't owe you anything. They don't feel there's no real relationship there, so they'll just tell you straight, look, we can't accept this, and this is why. You know, but if no one around you is really giving you that kind of feedback, then it can be really hard to hear that from someone that doesn't owe you a thing. And then you're starting to wonder what you're doing in the industry. But there was really nothing wrong with you. You just weren't used to getting feedback.
Yeah, for
you know
real.
what I mean? So
for real. That's all the big things about community, which is why it's important to have a community. I made some songs. Oh my days! Sometimes being in the studio with your brothers can be a lot. I mean, especially when they are creators. I'll be honest with you. There's been times where we had some serious back and forth, man. Because one, either you have different views, but when they have a point, they have a point. I'm about to drop something here. Oh my days!
just drop it.
Remember the response?
Oh yeah.
There's a song called "I Got a Father That Loves Me." Jesus is the father. That song, you will not believe. I kid you not. We spent so much time, we recorded the whole song, right? But I kid you not, we had such a long debate about the hook and how it should sound. In the end, my view was crossed out. I'll be honest, the way the hook sounds that people love, that you're listening to, I didn't like it. I'll be honest. I didn't want it out there. We had there was 1, 2, 3, I think there was like 4 people in that studio. There was Monster on the, engineering. There was me, of course, the lyricist, Roots in the Paul Sandu, and we were all having back and forth, like, no, I like it. No, but it doesn't sound, no, we all had our own points. But in the end, I had to listen to what they were saying, because even though it wasn't sounding a certain way to my ears, they had some heavy points. And lo and behold, people love the hook. People love the way it sounds. People really like it. And in a way, I'm happy they didn't listen to my points. So sometimes you have to really listen to people sometimes, despite what you may feel or how strongly you may feel about it. In the end, it comes out with some good results. But just
that's a really good point, man. And it's a journey. And then in saying all of that, it's basically just understanding that we have to have this community.
I'm reaching for what I believe in, and I must never stop rising, rising.